So, let's talk about gurus. This video is not going to be a pedantic tirade about the good and bad in gurus. I want to paint an entirely different picture so that we can step back from the way we conduct spiritual search and see a new possibility, a new way for us to do things. So first of all, I am not against gurus. I am not either blindly for gurus. There are really a lot of reasons why we need enlightened people teaching us. And in my definition, that's what a guru is. Someone who is not enlightened, a spiritual teacher, will be teaching seeking. Someone who's actually enlightened will be teaching enlightenment. You cannot teach enlightenment unless you actually are enlightened, because of the nature of what it is, because of the subtleties of figuring out who you are. So, gurus, you can have the best guru in the planet and really horrible spiritual seekers who come to them that create a culture around this guru that there's really nothing they can do about it. You can also have the worst, most unenlightened guy possible, and really good people come and create a really good culture. Both those things are possible, millions of things in between. But what we should really look at is the culture itself. So just to be very, very vaguely general, the guru model that we know of today was not started by Buddha, but enhanced by him. The Hindu religion, Buddha was a Hindu, is very hierarchical. And so they always had this idea of the enlightened, perfect person who was out enlightening everybody. That's the model that Buddha worked on. So, but the big problem with Buddha was that he woke up kind of all by himself. There weren't, most of the people, everyone he knew, was living in a state of suffering and disrepair and illusion. So the only model that he had was his own experience. I mean, like, obvious, right? I mean, that's the case of everybody. So this system of gurus and monasteries and things like that came into being. But stand back and you can just see from our modern point of view that it was majorly flawed because he didn't include women. Now, when I say that, like I've posted a couple of videos on women and enlightenment, and a couple of different things. Some people will say, well, there was a woman over here that was enlightened, and there was a woman over there that was enlightened. And isn't just the rarity of it kind of like an alarm signal, right? And then also, the only reason we say this woman over here and that woman over there is that these are the few women who have managed to take their enlightenment and make it fit into this system that was created by Buddha. Actually, it was created by the people that came after him, and it was created by the culture that he was in and that grew from him. So just because these few women could fit into that doesn't mean that women were included. And the biggest responses I get to my videos about women and enlightenment is, well, you can't have women come in where all the men are trying to be enlightened because, it will enhance their sexual urges and blah, 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 blah. Stop. Think about that idea. It's pervasive, right? You already thought it. Women and enlightenment, you're thinking of just that's the small little segment of women that are like in their 20s. The sexy, young. What about the grandmothers? You bring a whole bunch of grandmothers into the monastery. Are they really going to disturb the men that much? What about the soccer moms? Okay, you're like, okay, there weren't soccer moms back in Buddha's time. Yes, there was. Any woman who has a number of children, her whole life revolves around the needs and wants and the time that it takes to work with, protect, teach these children, enjoy the children. What about the children themselves? You can't have women without then having children. So think about it. Allowing women into this idea of enlightenment, this culture of enlightenment, creates life itself, because women bring life. And it's not just, this one pregnant woman is bringing life. It's women all together, the way we interact with each other, the way we help each other. I know there's women listening to this video, and think about it. You walk into a room and there's somebody with a baby. What do? You're like, baby. And we sweep them up into our arms, or there's a little kid. We know how to sit there and just play with that little kid. Tell them stories, poke their noses very gently. We know exactly what to do with kids if we've had any experience with kids at all. And there's so many, you bring pregnant women into the monastery. Are all these victim men going to just be sexually aroused and not be able to study their studies? And then why do we take enlightenment itself and move it out of life? Why do we turn it into an anti-life philosophy? It's like, oh yes, after you become enlightened, you're blended with everything. You're blended with everything from the day you're born. No matter what you do or what you believe or where you're going. So just imagine Buddha wakes up and he is in this culture of alive, awakened women. Now I'm a grandma. There would have been grandmas there. They would have just marched right up to him, grabbed him by the ear, right, and said, "Get up off your fat ass and come on over here and help us out. There's work to be done." It would have been life. It wouldn't have been a monastery. It would have been a village. Alive, thriving, full of laughter and chaos village. You let women in, there will be chaos. Yeah. Stir things up. Keep it from, sticking to this in the head thing. We think that enlightenment is something that happens in your head. And yet somehow in your head, you become one with everything. I mean, yeah, that's got to not make sense, right? When you see it from that point of view. So gurus. Now think about this different culture. What would a guru be? Really everyone in the culture is seen as alive and awake, and everyone from the day they're born are taught how interrelated we are with everything. The guru just simply means an elder who has time to work with younger people and make sure they get smoothly into the state of a fully awakened human being, so that everyone in the village, I don't want to say can live in harmony because we will misinterpret that, but everyone is able to be in life, to deal with life, to work on problems as they come up, to be free, to not create crazy philosophies of separation. So now, this is a totally different vision of a guru. Now, let's go back and look at our regular model, because what I just described is just fantasy, right? That doesn't exist. In a way, it's kind of an idealized vision of what maybe could be. We are not going to go from where we are right now to that. So what about gurus? Let's talk about gurus. There are the bad gurus. It'll be someone who's really, really egotistical, who's maybe had a flash of unity, something amazing that made them feel really, really good. And then they've managed their life so that they can always feel good like that. And they attract people around them because everybody wants to feel really good. It ends in chaos. You also can have the guru who has an intellectual understanding of this, that, or the other thing. They're very good at studying Sanskrit. Maybe they're very good at studying Native American scriptures. They're perfect at chanting the right chant and getting exactly right. And they show themselves as this perfect person who knows all this stuff. People will be attracted to them and will kind of lift them up and enhance their selfishness, their feelings that they're above everybody else. And then it kind of self-perpetuates itself because everybody's like, oh, you're so wonderful. And then after a while, they're like, oh, yes, I am so wonderful. And you can, this turns into a very toxic kind of a guru relationship. We also have the gurus from very strict religions. Christianity has people come up, and they're the end of the world's coming, and they all march up on top of a hill and sit there expecting the end of the world to come. Or, they all move down to, South America, and end up drinking Kool-Aid full of poison and have mass suicide so that they can all get to heaven. I'm sure the Muslim world is full of this. I'm sure the Hindu world is full of this. A person who takes the religion itself, a strict fundamental religion, and sets themselves up as the hierarchy of this and creates destruction in all the people around them. So that's the bad thing that can happen with this guru model. We also have gurus in our world today, and that have existed through time, who really are fully enlightened and are also brilliant, connected human beings, really working to make a difference in the people that come to them. Some of them do it in really crazy ways. Gurdjieff, good example. And he's far enough in the past where we don't have to worry about all the crazy things he did, right? But he really brought forth an idea of enlightenment and was able to really snap people out of their doldrums. So there's really a lot of gurus today. So what do we do about it? How do you tell which one's which? And what do you do? And I want to say that if you really want to be enlightened, doing it by yourself is almost impossible. Doing it with a guru is possible. What do you do? Realize it's about you. You can go to the worst guru ever, and you're bringing in a sense of being that's very strong. And you're using the chaos with the guru to wake up. You can wake up in that situation. I recommend going to the nice people, and there's plenty of them around, and just simply going or participating. I mean, all of us can't jump on a plane and go do a workshop with Rupert Spira, or Eckhart Tolle or somebody like that. But everyone, you can study all these people. Always, in every situation, it's you bringing yourself to these studies. And you'll know that things are going along good if you're getting your belief systems either smashed or dissolved, so that you're able to kind of look and see a broader field of things. So I am a big fan of the good guru. I am a bigger fan of the open, heartfelt, intelligent, bright student, the bright, happy disciple who is really, really, I am going to become the best natural human being I can be. I am going to find out who I am and awaken. So really, in this discussion, let's talk about gurus. We're talking about culture, the culture that we're in, and we're talking about the student, the disciple, as much as the guru themselves. So what does this kind of mean for our world? Step back and start seeing this in a new way. And we'll understand that our participation in life is the thing that enhances life, right? Our intelligence, our own honesty is the thing that makes it possible to see if this person we've gone to is honest. And a tip for women: we are not victims. We are autonomous beings who can come to these groups and not be sucked into being somebody's sexual toy or somebody's, servant. We're coming in as fully autonomous, intelligent, educated beings. We can step into this in a new way, bring our female chaos with us. Babies and aunts and grandmas and toys, and maybe our houses are messy, and maybe, we can't always go do all these fabulous things because we got to go do something with family. We know family. Bring your womanhood in as a fully ripe, important aspect of human beings. And just that will completely change the guru culture. Don't go in to some sort of spiritual community or spiritual teaching trying to act like a man. You don't need to do that. That's very damaging. We as women are fabulously strong, crazy givers of life, enhancers of life. Bring this into the guru model. Maybe we'll see something different start to happen. Maybe we'll start to actually recognize all the enlightened women who are around us. We might be surprised to find out how many there are.